One-third of African professionals have left the continent, and this amounts to about 10 million African mini diasporas in the past decade alone. This information is actually from the International Organization for Migration. There is an African statesman that spoke about this issue, and I will quote him. This was in 2015. And he said, in Africa, we spend $4 billion recruiting expats to work on our projects, that are funded by, financed by foreign aid. And we still spend in Africa $3.6 billion educating people in a total per year. So the $3.6 billion is very close to the $4 billion that we spend. And we spend $3.6 billion educating people, and we lose a big percentage of them. They leave. So something has to be done. Because when you look at the numbers, spending $4 billion to hire roughly 150,000 expats versus the ones that we actually lose, it is challenging. I would put it this way, to avoid using the word worrying. And because it is a challenge, and in Africa we have reached a time where we need to grab our challenges and we actually need to face the realities. Because the loss of African intellectual property is actually a big challenge for the development of our country. So we need to work on something that will inspire people to actually think of coming back. And the good news for the continent is that 70% of the African professionals who work outside the continent want to come back. 70% of them actually want to come back and work on the continent. So this is a great opportunity, no? This is a good news that we need to actually work on, and we need to inspire them not only to come back, but we need to create the conditions for them to come back. And speaking of that, this is where I want to say that when we look at how much we pay, we do pay a Western consultant 1,000 euros or sometimes even more per day for him to come and support the project implementations. And I can assure you that if only we had a way to take that information and inform the diaspora about the terms of references, about the conditions, that you will be surprised how many Africans, highly qualified, can actually fulfill the needs of those resources. So basically, I think that it is time that we look at what needs to be done. We need to take advantage of this. The technology today supports this. The technology helps us. We need to look at a different business model. The world is changing. The way we do business is changing. We are sometimes seen as arrogant invader because we were exposed to foreign cultures and foreign realities. So yes, we do have a challenge, and we need to get ourselves ready and prepared before we come. So I love to say this about Africa. There is a proverb in Africa that says that when you go to a place, a new place, first thing you must do is first pay respect to the elders. Then you must listen to the beat of the songs and how the dance goes. Because you can't go and think that you're going to start dancing immediately. No, you listen. Then slowly you start getting into it, the African way. Okay? Because it's very important. Only then will you create the conditions to be accepted, to be received. You have to communicate in a way that the communities can relate to you. You cannot come with all those very sophisticated terminologies, excusez-moi. No. You will have to find a way to communicate so that they can relate to you. And once you do that, you will be more accepted. The transfer, the knowledge transfer has to be a mutual thing. You will actually end up learning, because every trip that I take in Africa, I learn. Every country, I always learn. There is so much to be done, but also to be grabbed from their own experience. I'll tell you a very quick story what happened to me when I was in Burkina Faso, and the network expansion was going on, but then we faced a delay. A 60-day delay because of a community resistance of the site where they were going to actually put the station, the site. And I could not understand, so I decided to pay a visit to the chief of that village. And as I got there, I said to him, "Papa, I came to pay respect to the elders. That's what we came to do. And, you know, this site is going to bring much benefits to the community. You will be able to speak to your children in the country, overseas, and we cannot do this without you." And typical African, the man says, "Aha, my daughter, my child, thank you. At least you came. You have respected us. That land is sacred land. We need to perform some ceremonies, and we will take care of it. And then you will be able to put the site." Basically, only that engaging directly with the community resolved the issue. But I can assure you that a Western executive would have gone to the government would have come, they would have actually imposed by law that this site was granted for telecoms development and it will be here, and you will then create a perception, a negative corporate perception within that community. And you will be rejected by the community. So yes, let us respect our elders. These are the communities that the diaspora is supposedly coming in to support and share knowledge. But then we have to come in also prepared. It's very important that we come in prepared. I would like to say that this experience has been, ever since I've taken this proverb with me in all the countries in Africa. And this has helped me in my success and really being able to communicate with the diaspora. Is you learn, you listen, you pay your respect to the elders. There is no way that we can really start getting fruits from the brain gain strategy that we need to put together so that we can all benefit from it. Those who are over there, they're dying, they're willing to come. And those of us who are here, we need their support. So it's a win-win situation. Let us take advantage of this connexion, because this is connexion today, so that we can leverage on promoting the brain gain for Africa, for Cabo Verde. We need to make sure that we ensure that we capitalize on social expertise, on economic expertise, on cultural exchange, because this is where Africa is going to go. This is what Cape Verde needs, and we need to capitalize on the success of our country as well. Thank you very much.